This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, sliceonbroadway.com. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Hey guys, it's the AwesomeCast episode 435. Time to get geeky, get awesome. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here, and we're ready to get geeky with you. We got with us everybody in studio, the Corecast this week. First of all, he is the gadget guru with Big Bank International Esquire. It is John Chilla.
That's me. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
Wonderful.
All right. I think we got everything in the studio back together after trucking it all to Dayton for a live Twitch stream for pro wrestling, but we're back at it. Also with us, she is the sales and marketing director at the Scare House.
Close enough.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Hey. I was listening to your show. You don't get your coworkers.
Nope, never. I never get Nino's title right. It could be anything.
Exactly. I don't feel so bad about it anymore.
Good.
So Katie Douglas is with us as well.
Hello.
Get your title in the right place over there so I don't call you somebody else.
You can call me
There
whatever.
we go. Just don't call me late for dinner. Jeez. Yeah, that's how we're starting today. Anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. Check out everything at awesomecast.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast. Facebook AwesomeCast. We have a Facebook group for AwesomeCast. And on the Facebook group, or I'm sorry, the Facebook page, you can catch us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Facebook Live. And you can be part of the chat room, just like Brandon from the KC and Dave Potter of the Tiny Shutter podcast do every week here. And we are also streaming on other Sorgatron media properties like the Periscope and the Twitch. And if you're catching us over out there live, we are doing this over on Facebook. And pay attention to the join us over in the chat room here on Facebook so you can be part of the conversation. You can also check us out replaying with our streaming partners on riversedgepgh.com every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and also our friends at the 405media.com are carrying us weekdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, noon Eastern Time. They have the latest episode going there as well. Thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast, our friends at the Coffee Club $5 level, Matt Weller and John Diggy DeGore, as well as the fan of the show $1 level, Michael Fedor. As well. You can support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast, or if you want to be part of the audience or support the show with some advertising, hit up producer Missy over at awesomecast at sorgatronmedia.com. And we officially have her hooked up on the mic, and it works. I'm pretty sure it works over there. Are you over there, producer Missy?
Is this where I'm supposed to turn the mic on?
Yay! Now she's part of the show and can vocally yell at me, and you'll hear her and stuff too. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. First, let's go with okay, Chilla, you have several, so let's start with one of yours. Okay.
Okay. Let's do the Nintendo Switch TV.
Okay, Nintendo Switch TV.
The Nintendo Switch TV. Doesn't everyone have a Nintendo Switch TV? So this guy
Maybe
actually,
in Chilla Land in your house of the future.
This guy actually was trying to come up with an idea to kind of frame in his TV on his wall.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a 65-inch TV. So he actually created like a transparency of a Nintendo Switch, printed it out, projected it on the wall to see how big he would need to make the Switch components to go on the sides of his TV. So if you scroll to get an idea for the finished product, scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the page.
I'm going through the process, guys.
You're going through the process.
I'm going through the process.
He created like the buttons are
Jeez.
huge. He's bending wood, creates the TV frame. He hollows out the wood to take care of weight and heat dispersion. He actually takes the inner sides of the Switch controller and kind of cuts them out to help pull heat off of the TV. So if you were to look at that, right, that would look like someone's Nintendo Switch laying on like a table.
Mm-hmm.
At least the first picture you had there. It looks like a Nintendo Switch laying on a table, and when you zoom out there, it's hanging on his wall. It's 65 inches of Nintendo Switch. I thought it was just a really cool. I think Chachi needs one of these.
Chachi definitely needs one of these. That's awesome. So the biggest thing is, no, it is an enclosure, like it is a wood enclosure around the TV itself too, right? Yeah,
Yes.
you guys kind of see from that angle. So they basically built a giant box around the TV and then matched it up with the red and blue controllers like you typically see with the Nintendo Switch. Like you said, they're hollowed out and everything for heat dispersion. I like that. That's really cool.
It looks really slick.
And it looks like he has nothing but Nintendo in his game room here. So, I mean, that's the kind of the ultimate. There's a lot of amiibos, too, in this, too. Like, actually, he has all of the amiibos, I think. The only thing that sticks out is that Superman in the corner. But that's awesome.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with it.
That's really cool. What about you, Katie? What you got?
I have Star Wars for my awesome thing of the week. I have a parade. So down in Brazil, they do a huge parade for Carnival, Carnival. And one of the a few of the 501st units essentially got together and built this amazing float that you're going to have to watch it on video because there's no way to really totally describe its wonderfulness. But the front of it is a couple AT-ATs, which I love my AT-ATs. And but there's all these moving parts. All the characters from all the movies are all over this thing. Everybody's just grooving to some music. And it's just phenomenal to see. Yeah, it's outstanding. There's a giant Darth Vader in the front, his mask, and he's up there dancing.
I see a Darth Maul. There's
Yep.
a Wookiee. And his 25 years spinning crown kind of thing going on. This is like everything that I wish that the Macy's Day Parade still was.
Yes, exactly.
Really. I mean, it's like everybody's dancing on there. It looks like a giant battle cruiser of a float. I don't know.
What's 25 like Anos or Anos?
It's 25 years,
Is
so
it
I don't
years?
know.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's maybe the parade's anniversary. I'm not sure.
That's possible.
Look at that Super Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
This looks really cool. Although I feel like Darth Vader doesn't have like prominent enough of a lightsaber. They gave him like the weakest lightsaber there.
He's
This is
dancing
But there's
great.
more than one Darth Vader because there was the Darth Vader on top of the AT-AT, and now he's on top of some kind of purple.
Yeah, he has an
People
interesting
eater.
purple people eater. Darth Vader's deadly purple people eater.
And this thing is just mass. It's gorgeous. Like just looking at the legs, the AT-AT just move is just phenomenal. Like if the new Disney park is anything close to this.
Are they doing a Disney park down there? Or
No,
you're
I'm
talking
just
about the
saying
one in
overall.
Orlando?
Like when Walt Disney World gets Star Wars.
Yes.
think
They
it's-
started to announce like what's on their menu and what kind of like you can get the blue milk
Costumes
and yeah.
like, what the staff's
I'm
gonna wear.
definitely saving up for that trip.
Yeah, definitely. So mine is kind of a little old schooly. Are you dropping? Do you keep dropping like Tay-Tay songs in the chat room, Chilla? Is that what's going on here?
I messed up the first link. It was the mashup that we were talking about. I just threw it out there for anyone that was interested.
Oh,
He's
it's
so
in
nice.
it's in the Facebook chat if you want to see the Tay-Tay that they were.
Well, it's
jamming to
actually
before
like
the show.
114 songs in 14 minutes.
Jeez, what? So is it like clips or?
It's all mashed up together and like it's perfectly like beat matched and it's
Weird.
all the music videos. It's really good.
Weird. So mine's a little old school. I found one of these for way too much, still $20 at Dollar General, and then Mainstream Matt over on Wrestling Mayhem Show donated it to the show. Well, he found it for $3 over at like the Bed Bath and Beyond. This is one of those I always get a kick out of these, and this is a WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. That is the game for the NES, and there were other versions that actually look better. They still use the version from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the worst looking one of them. This is it's one of these plug and play controller games, right? So first of all, I always played this on a Nintendo controller, so having a joystick is a little different for me. But it's one of those all-in-one deals. Also, you can't do like 2-player because it's just one controller. But yeah, I'm guessing they're running just kind of some emulator of some sort. This isn't like I'm slightly disappointed at some of the builds of these days. This is from a different company. Like Namco used to put them out, I think. And maybe
I had the one that was, I think it was PacMan, Miss PacMan.
Yeah, like those ones are really nice and real well built. And there's nothing wrong with the build of this, but literally all that's on this is the WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, and not even the one that I played on the Nintendo. Even though it looks just like the Nintendo version of this, they changed stuff on this. First of all, you're not allowed to use WWF anymore because of the Panda people and that whole thing, right? So they have to anything new, they have to strike the WWF logo. They even went in and changed the logo on the mat in the game. And I'm presuming when this came out that Hulk Hogan was not in the good graces over one controversy or another back in, let's see, this is copyright 2017. So he has been replaced by the Ultimate Warrior, who I know he never said anything bad to people. And I think there's a couple other swap outs in here too. But I mean, this is like old. I know so there's a little crossover with the other show, but there's a little bit of Warrior, Macho Man, Roddy Piper, Bret the Hitman Hart, Undertaker, Razor Ramon, IRS. To remind you that your taxes are due. So it was the first one that had a steel cage. Like I said, very, very Nintendo. And they're still selling these guys with like, the RCA connectors. That's what
makes me wonder, is that why the quality's so bad? Like they didn't update it for modern TV, so like the refresh rate's all off.
It doesn't look. I mean, I don't think it ever looked great for this game. But I mean, you're also if you're blowing any of these games up to an HD television, you're in trouble, right? It's not going to look that great. And also, there was one of these. And I wanted to bring it in, but there's one of these that they released several years ago, back when like these first were a big craze, that had a completely unique and new wrestling game. It wasn't any good. But I mean, it's not that I play a lot. It's probably maybe this is even a little more capable on the Nintendo Entertainment System. But at least like it looked 16-bit and had a little bit more to it. Some of the movements were a little more fluid. But you would also get those like, hey, here's a Spider-Man game. Here's a Dora the Explorer game on one of these controllers and stuff, right? That they were making new games for these. They weren't always great, but I thought they were always interesting to see what they did. I just like these little packs, and it's good to see they're still making them. A little sad that they're retailing these things for $20, and I looked up the site. It was MSI Entertainment, I believe. MSI I know is a motherboard company.
Yeah,
I think this is a different one or a spin-off or something like that. And it listed a lot of other games. Again, like they're selling a version of this that's like a Space Invaders. Again, $20 for just a thing that plays Space Invaders, versus it used to be like $15-$20 for like 5 games. They're all Pac-Man type games, but still, right?
All those people that want to relive the retro games.
Yeah, I mean it's still a thing. But I also I noticed this over the holiday season too. There were a lot of like, there's the 1UP arcade cabinets that we talked about on the show, and now I see advertised during the wrestling shows, right, that you can get at Walmart. The kind of miniature, like they're still like kind of fuller size cabinets with screens and everything. But then there are these little, like these tiny, like several inches tall arcades that are full color screens, and they play the game on like a 2-inch screen. Like Burger Time or something, right?
Where did I just see that? Was it? There was a commercial or something for. It was like, look at this thing, but it's only tiny size now.
Well, I think you're still seeing the 1UP cabinets that they're selling.
The 1UP cabinets were like 3 foot tall.
Yeah, they're like 3 foot tall. Like they work
this
well.
Is like,
they're like that.
Yeah, it's like smaller.
Oh, that's big. I've seen ones that were like what he's talking about, that were like inches
itty bitty.
tall.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's ones that are like this tall, like a couple inches tall,
Adorbs.
but they were like Rampage or something, right? So I don't know how well those work out, but they're also still selling like, hey, here's a version of Pac-Man, but it's like the old like LED, Pac-Man doesn't move on a screen. It's an LCD. Like it is LCD. Like it's not even light up. It's just like black LCD on like a color like.
How do they
picture.
show the ghosts?
They were also black things. Like I had a light up version of this back in the day. But it's kind of interesting to see those things kind of come back around. And then but they've also put like Mattel Football 2 back out that are like the little layup ones, right? So I don't know. Just
I think that made a comeback because it wasn't that on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Volume 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was probably part of it.
I think Groot was playing it.
Groot was playing it. So I mean, that's my little.
Before they pulled out the Zune.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Wow, you're the worst.
So that's my little semi-awesome thing. I don't know. I just like that these things are still kind of floating around, and they're such a goofy little thing, technology thing. Like it's probably not even as much as like a Raspberry Pi in there, for something like this. Like less, definitely not for the cost that they're doing this in mass. Most of them seem to be NES or arcade games, but they did have like a Street Fighter 2 one, so I'd be curious about that one. But again, it's going to be like one controller. What are you going to do with that? Nice kind of plug and play thing, but I want the old that was the other thing. The old WWE one that I had, you could add more features through a cartridge that they sold that I never found.
I feel like they would just be better off to somehow charge for the ROMs.
It seems like that's what this is. It's
charge for the ROMs and let us go buy them all for $1 a piece or $0.25 a piece.
I remember
and legally emulate.
There was the one that was there's that. There was the one that was like NHL 96, NHL and NFL and Madden 96, because that was like the go-to. Didn't they include like NHL 96 in several years of the newer ones on the higher end consoles or something? If anybody plays like those games. But no, that was that's kind of my go-to. You have a second awesome thing of the week.
I have a second awesome thing, and it's probably not that awesome to a lot of people. But if you ever deal with,
that's why we're stacking them.
I thought this personally was super cool, and it's Microsoft for Excel on Android devices has picked up the capability that it will let you use the Excel application to take a picture of any kind of table formatted printout on another screen, whatever, and it will pull an OCR that data right into the table.
No.
And it looks like it's using some AI as well to figure out like what the formulas, like if you have a table and it's a bunch of numbers and they're added up, each column is added up with a total at the bottom. It's using some algorithms to figure out like what is going on in the table to then update and actually pull in like legitimate formulas and whatnot. So I mean, I don't know if you ever need to do this with like bill processing for like, think about it, you're at a hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get your hotel bill printed out. If you wanted to grab this and put it right into a spreadsheet with all the text and have it formatted in the table, I don't know, I thought it was a pretty cool, quick technology that looks pretty darn good.
It's something that I've wanted to have happen several times.
Like I've seen ones where like they try to OCR it and put it in a PDF.
Yeah,
but like that's cool. But
it's
I feel
not
like that's old school flatbed scanning technology,
and it's not a functional spreadsheet that you can then go in and modify.
Right.
Like that,
this
right?
is like, hey, take a picture of a table, and now you have it already pre-formatted, ready to edit.
That could be useful, especially when like clients send you like, here's all our information. And it was like, man, could we have done this digital, perhaps? So, no, absolutely, that'd be super helpful.
And like they show you can actually search. You can search the text, and it'll find it both in the table and in the graphic. I don't know. I think it's just pretty cool tech.
And this is the iOS version.
This is the Android version.
This is the Android version.
It'll be coming to iOS later. So I'm guessing the next time they upgrade Excel for iOS, it'll be in there.
Well, those things have come a long way. Spreadsheets have a lot of historical significance, and so does this attempt at a segue.
Yay.
Our good friend, those that have that do not learn about the history of spreadsheets or do to repeat the history of their spreadsheet mistakes. And same with just history in general. That's why our good friend, the Professor Buzzkill, makes learning history entertaining and humorous through his blog and podcast. You can explore what's going on over there at ProfessorBuzzkill.com. He kills history myths, Buzz kills them. That is So much great stuff going on there. Whether it is the history of walls or other things, factions. Making of the non-smoker. This is his latest one on there about the category of person who is a non-smoker. And as we were just having Chilla go outside to do his smoking duties. So he's also got a history of the Green Book, who just won a couple Academy Awards, right? So good topical stuff. Go check him out. ProfessorBuzzkill.com, a great friend of the network and of the AwesomeCast over there. Go check him out, ProfessorBuzzkill.com. All right, so on the local side, we've had who is typing Tay comments in the stop it. Anyways, I didn't know what was going on in that one either. You can't make me stop. Jeez, we should open up the doc so you can see the messages we put in here. I like this one. This is one nextpittsburgh.com, a local site that I keep an eye on. I had this up here. So apparently there is a Mayor Peduto signed an executive order creating new rules for self-driving cars. This has been, of course, this is the town where we started. We're one of the first to have the on-the-road self-driving cars that you could call with Uber. And that has, definitely soured over the years. I think they're still running, but I don't think there's nearly as many as there used to. I've been hearing about layoffs in that side and everything. Uber was represented here along with Argo AI. I think we talked about here on the show about how many of these Argo cars that we see around town. I know, Chilla, you said you see a lot of them. I think, Katie, you see
I still see a bunch of them
around too, right?
Yeah.
Aptiv Innovation, Aurora Innovation, and CMU, Carnegie Mellon University, of course. This includes, we're kind of a hotbed for the technology coming out and the minds that are working on it. The big thing here was to make sure to open up the data, at least like the non-proprietary sides of things, as well as, kind of have some rules to make sure everybody's going to be safe around this. So kind of cool. There was one post along with this, and I think it was one of the government officials or something said, or somebody reposted this and said something along of Pittsburgh is like small enough of a town that you can get everybody involved in something like this in a room to talk it out. So that's kind of cool. So good to see there's like positive steps forward in that, because I know, like, again, the Uber thing soured because I think there were concessions that were made for them to come here. And they didn't hold up on their bargain, from what I understand. So hopefully this will move forward in a pretty cool way to this. So I don't know. What do you guys think about they're amongst us. Like, this is one of the. It seems like they're getting more and more out there, but this is one of the cities where it feels like that we've had these things being tested on our roads for a good while.
It's interesting because I noticed in the article they actually have the order, like a PDF of what they're actually asking them to do. I didn't get to read it yet, but I'm interested in what they're exactly asking, what non-proprietary information they're asking them to share.
Maybe this is probably along the lines of, remember the Uber technology data where you could like kind of figure out time of day if you're in a certain neighborhood, how long it takes to get another point, like that kind of stuff. All that transit data is probably like a little bit of that. Plus, probably, it
seems like just briefly reading through the meat of this, they're looking for them to identify the testers and anticipated time, place, and manner testing is to occur at sufficient level of detail to be informative to public and public agencies. Increase public transparency and knowledge of the testing occurring on public streets and associated testers. So it almost sounds like to me they weren't telling Pittsburgh where and when they were going to test, and which
you just see them out on the roads.
You just see, but none of those cars drove fully autonomously. So that would be like me saying, okay, Pittsburgh, I'm going to be on Penn Avenue at 3 p.m. today, going from here to wherever, and then I hit traffic, and then what happens if I'm not? Like, I
It feel like more.
What are
hey,
we
hey,
I guess what are we gleaming, or what is the purpose for this? Is it to allow people to stay away from the locations they're going to be in?
being a little
Is it
more
so there can be additional oversight?
Because I think we're away from the idea where you call an Uber and it comes to you, and I find one in Mount Lebanon, right?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, like I think it's more just the general testing and road testing and everything like that. And they're autonomous, but they're also supervised too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, what they call it, the level 4 autonomous, right? Where I think they're at least in the testing phase of it, because they were hands off for even the early Uber cars I was at. What about you, Katie? Because I know your side of town seems to be where a lot of this is concentrated. Where you work over at Scare House.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's funny because you really don't. I see them more other places than down there. Like they're just not taking them around. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because the roads are kind of small.
Oh, actually, I think they moved them over to
Yeah.
Hazelwood.
Because I don't think.
Now I think about it, because somebody was telling me about how like they have just like a storage facility over there for all the cars, at least for the Uber side of things. So,
Uber.
and it's the Uberville.
The Uberville.
But
Lifttown.
yeah, Lifttown and Uberville. Well, that was a word. We'll have a little bit about Lyft like a little later, I guess. So, anyways, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Again, cool that we're, jeez, Tay. Yes, I have bad blood with you. Okay, Apple.
He's so mad.
Oh, always good to see AlphaLab Gears Hardware Cup. They have their winners announced, and I'm trying to bring up over here. And I guess we should probably disclaim they are Innovation Works is a client of Psychic Media Services. No, always interesting to see what comes out of here. Mostly for this, in this case, for the Hardware Cup, Yodel Labs. Yodel. Which I hope that's like means what I think it is. It's a CMU spinoff that specializes in gear that uses sound waves to produce highly accurate real-time measurements of the immediate area. This seemed to be like more of a position tracking kind of thing. It says according to their website and to the article here, it could have wide applications in augmented reality and other assistive services. Another agribusiness panacea. Won an Audience Choice Award. Aspinity and materials company Areka, makers of Thudder. Wait, Thubber? Is that
Thubber?
right?
What is that?
I don't know. I need to look at this one now. I was mostly looking at the top one with Yodel for this bit. But it was pretty cool. It's always pretty cool to see what next companies are coming out of there lately. Oh, and also shout out, Chilla, have you been to the 3D store?
There's a 3
in the South Hills Village.
In the South Hills. Yes, I have. I've walked through it. I didn't
You need to hang out there and talk to that guy. We've had him on the show before, but we spent some time. We happened to be in the mall a couple weeks ago, and down to South Hills Village, and 3D printers are only like $200 or $300 now. Like that's what we paid for our laser printer we just got for the office. Like that is really, really accessible.
And it's like, have you seen the Glowforge?
No, I haven't seen the Glowforge.
The Glowforge, it's like a laser etching and laser cutting tool. It's not necessarily 3D printing per se, but you could do some pretty cool stuff. Like you can etch into the metal on your MacBook. You can cut wood. I mean, it does a number of things that with a laser cutter, it's pretty darn cool.
Those ads are all over my Instagram.
I
don't know
really?
where yours. Yeah, that's like I don't know. That's one of the things that always pops up on my Instagram.
Because it like custom stuff you can make for your industry, you think, or
I don't know. I have no idea.
Like Ron Krause's wife was looking at one, and I'm
Mhm.
like, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that Katie and I had some fun with the little like 3D pen printer things.
Oh, the one that you like can
Yeah.
like make. It's almost like making
Doodle
3D geometric shapes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the one. I've
They
seen.
had some at the library.
and yeah, they've been really big again. I mean, we have 3D printers here at the library here in Beachview too. So I mean, yeah, it's getting to that and accessible. But and when we're there talking with them, and this, the place is called Creation Labs, by the way, if you want to check them out, it's creationlabs.us. And like I said, we have an interview on the Awesome Chat. If you go to awesomecast.com and look up Creation Labs, you'll see our conversation with them too. And again, kind of you know, there's like kind of in place, like they have little kind of knickknacks you can get that they've made, like little dogs and cats and skulls and stuff out of out of the material. But and everything you need to do 3D printing there too. Like there's these there's these like kind of 3D pens, they called it, that help you kind of connect the joints if you're making multiple piece 3D print jobs. Like the one he shows off is the walker from like Alien 3 that she's in. And it's like multiple pieces that come together and other bits like that and things that kind of make vases out of because it kind of makes everything like in a line. And he was showing me, talking to me about a process where, instead of it being like you drop a layer, you drop a layer, you drop a layer as you're building this thing in 3D and it's hollow, it actually makes it out of one, like it's gradually moves the object. So it's just one piece of filament goes around and makes like a base kind of situation. So, but no, go check that out, creationlabs.us. If you happen to be in South Hills Village, it's actually kind of across from. I'm surprised you go to the GameStop all the time, Chilla.
Well, it's next to the Verizon. Isn't it next to the Verizon store?
I think so.
It's the old Tivana.
Is it?
Yeah, that used to be like the tea store
Okay.
for like loose leaf tea.
Did you used to go to the Tivana?
I did go to the Tivana.
And now you can go for your 3D printing.
Now I can go for some 3D printing.
I just remember the Spencer Gifts used to
I
be
noticed
down that way.
that they have one of the what's his name from Mario Brothers, the bullet bill.
Yeah, they have a bullet bill in there. Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that in the front window.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, sorry, a little extra thing there. But I forgot to talk about it last week with our guest and everything. So, let's see. From the chat room, did you just rename everybody from the Facebook group with Taylor Swift names? Okay. All right. From Taylor Sriz. Really? That's not even a good one. Apparently, Fortnite. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Marshmello had a concert over there. Apparently, Weezer created a Fortnite island to promote its new album. That's awesome. I haven't clicked on the created islands yet. Have you, Chilla?
So how does that part of the game? I
I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet. I imagine this is how the Fortnite thing happened too. Was this kind of created thing? It's just it's an island with a stage and just giant Weezer logos all over the place. And you get to go dance. I don't know if
so you can't play on the island.
It looks like you can play in it. I don't know if you're exactly doing like the P versus P that you typically do. I think you just run around and do stuff.
Run around and dance.
Run around and dance, basically. It's probably just Weezer music's playing in the background the whole time.
I'm surprised they don't make this type of thing like that lobby room that you have to wait in while it's collecting all the people to play.
Yeah, it's an entire amusement park level of mini games dedicated to the band, according to this article here on nerds.com. Eventually a new game is going to come out of the creation levels. You realize that's just going to roll right out of this. So, Katie, maybe we can do a Scarehouse Fortnite level.
Yes. Just be spooky clowns and
bunnies
and
bunnies and
demons.
Imagine if you could take like all of Scarehouse and like blow it up really large, like really, really large. So the clowns were extra huge.
Even better.
Like giant size. But then you could get a bunch of like 20 people in each one of those small room type areas.
Mm-hmm.
You could turn that into a pretty good Fortnite level.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
I like this plan.
All that stuff's in a CAD program somewhere, right?
Scarehouse or the
Scarehouse 4 plan or something. that we can maybe import that or something.
There's a lot of Scarehouse like floor plans.
You should do a Taylor
modeling.
Swift room.
Ooh, Tay room.
Tay room. Coming soon to Scare House.
The Tay Room.
This is one that, according to this, Doug Swift, I think of shouldiswiftthat.com. No, should I drink that? This is
Should I tailor that?
should I tailor that? This is from a band called Cybertronica. I'm sorry. And they were doing Immigration Song, and they are cosplayed, really awesome cosplayed, as members of the Transformers 1985 movie, including the lead singer is RC. That would be the pink female Transformer from back in the day. I love that Shockwave is on the drums. There's a Unicron. There's a Quintessicon. Jeez, I can't even talk. It's a weird name to begin with. Quintesson. That's what they're called. He's really, really freaky. There's just dancing Shockwave in the back, or Soundwave. I'm sorry, in the back. So it's on there. It's shared. I'm not gonna play it because we'll get completely pulled off of YouTube with this one. So go check out Immigration Song from Cybertronica. Although I really hope there's somewhere in that set they're playing The Touch from the movie. I mean, it kind of only makes sense. I need to find out if they're playing at like one of those TF cons or something, and we have to get Katie. We have to road trip to TF con sometime.
I'm okay with this.
I mean,
Yes.
we have to at least
Absolutely.
once get to a Transformers con. I mean,
Yes,
she's wearing
absolutely.
Transformers
I was
right
like,
now,
I'm
by
not
the
even
way.
playing this. I'm wearing my shirt.
Look at that. I mean, it's only a matter of time around here. So I went Super Mario today. So, Tay partner of the Tiny of the Tiny Tay podcast, the Tiny Shutter podcast. He actually got me to download an app a couple weeks ago. That one was called Retouch. It was $1.99, and if you have something like there's like power lines in the shot, it's really good at cloning. I actually dumped into it a really tough photo where I was looking through these bars at the upper part of Core Time Sports Center for an IWC show. Through the bars down to the ring, and it messed up where you expected it to mess up because it was really complicated because you had like the bars and then you had the ring ropes and then you had text on the mat. But considering it worked really well, like that was for my test. I should throw in that picture of our friend Brohemoth in his green hoodie on the green screen and see what happens. But there's another one called Spectre that he's talking to us about. And this one, and I'll try to throw up a little bit of imagery with it for you guys. But this one is more for, it uses a little bit of AI to help you with long exposure. I don't know why I'm pulling up on my phone. I can't really show you much of anything. Oh, wait, it's on my iPad. I can completely show you it.
And this is from the same company that makes the Halide, which is like the raw and manual, like depth of field stuff.
Mhm.
So that like this company makes some quality apps.
So the idea is, the app has already had 2 updates this partner. It works okay, still not as steady as slow shutter can, but uses a neural engine built into the iPhone. So it'll actually use that AI to bring several photos together to give you a long exposure photo. I was doing this just out the window at the Eaton Park, and it would it actually did good to kind of like the cars weren't a part of it, right? I thought I'd get like kind of like these streaks of cars going by with the long shutter, but it just AI'd them out and just gave me a full picture.
Did it give you a full picture without any traffic?
Without any of the traffic.
Because I thought that was one of the cool things, right? You could take a picture of like a city street that's buzzing with people and then make it look like the apocalypse came through and wiped it out.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like to give those types of
when
areas where you're always going to have a car going by or you're always going to have people.
Yeah.
If you could So think about what it would take to Photoshop all of them out and pulling hundreds of pictures together.
And both of you, I think, have more photography experience than I do. Like when I hear long exposure, like I thought that's like what I to get like kind of light trails and things like that.
This app is supposed to be able to do both.
Okay.
It's supposed to have different settings. I haven't used the app personally. You just made me purchase it, and I'll be
$2.99 on the iOS App Store, by the way.
So yeah, it can do both long exposures that lets you take things out of the photo, and then long exposures that lets you apply like effects like a waterfall or light streaking or whatever you waves.
So
that kind of stuff.
here's the app if you guys are on video. So the nice thing is you take the picture, it does this thing, and maybe it's not doing it quite as well because I'm on an iPad. I don't know. It's super fuzzy. It doesn't seem to do the lineup thing as well that it was doing on the phone. Because I noticed on the phone, like it would let you know, like kind of let you know if it was like steady enough for it to be able to do it. Obviously, you're not going to be like 100% steady, like just holding the phone. But it seemed kind of interesting. So go check that out. Again, that is Spectre, kind of like the James Bond movie, over on the iOS store. They did a deep 45 plus minute deep dive of the app on last week's Tiny Shutter podcast. If you want to go check that out, so if you want more about that from some people that are a little better at photography than I am, probably. All right. Well, one thing we are good at is eating pizza on this show.
We have one skill.
We have one skill. Listen, I have a certain set of skills, and that involves eating the goods from our good friends at Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com, down here in the Beachview neighborhood, the OG, the original Carnegie, PA, out by the towards the airport, East End, and PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Go check them out, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. And if you're in town, if you're around town, go get some of the best pizza in town. Slice on Broadway, sliceonbroadway.com, PGH_slice on the Twitter. Thank you for helping feeding the AwesomeCast here in these Tuesday evenings.
If they were going to have a Tay Swift pizza, what do you think the toppings would be?
I don't think I know enough. Katie?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I know enough.
I would imagine it to be like sweet tarts and
Yeah.
But it's pineapple.
That's a good one.
I feel like it's pineapple. The little, like it just feels like the vibe, a Tay vibe would be pineapple, and then everybody would get mad at you. Anyways, we have a couple other things here. A little bit more show. Chilla, is there anything you want to touch on here?
So, and it just because they announced it this week. Replay FX, if you remember,
Love those guys.
The video game / pinball / family fun games, music, all the fun you would ever want to have across a 4-day event in Pittsburgh, is this August 1st to the 4th.
And of course, there's a stormtrooper playing a video game.
Of course,
the first picture,
as there should be.
Mm-hmm.
This is, if you can make it to this even for a few hours, I highly, highly recommend it. I unfortunately will not be able to go this year. It deeply saddens me.
I'm having,
and I'm not even telling Christopher that we're gone this weekend.
I'm having a social conflict that I need to make a very deep choice. Do I go full juggalo or do I go full video game nerd on this?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not even going to bring this up.
What do I do?
Just the number of games, and even for kids, like they have like the big inflatable type stuff. It's just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes till the wee hours of the morning too. I think I was there till like midnight or 1 a.m.
It's like 1-ish, yeah.
Yeah, just playing old school upright arcade games.
Mm-hmm.
There were some of the, I can't remember the name of the game now. You're kind of a sniper and you actually have to look at the screen through this, maybe it's silent scope.
Mm-hmm.
Those types. Just tons of great games. So if you get a chance and you have time in August, go
check it out. And actually, if you want to see a little bit from it, if you go look up Replay FX on Twitch, there's a lot of streams up there, a lot of interviews and concerts. Myself, I was behind the switcher for the music stage over there. So they did a lot of fun stuff with tournaments, and Pittsburgh is on there as well. So you can get a little bit of a glimpse of some of that this year. Of last year to see what it kind of looks like. And this is getting big, this is just the stuff that the console game stuff is just the stuff Looking for Group has been doing, and that's been getting bigger and bigger every year. So it'll be really interesting to see what kind of a show this is going to be this year too. So go check that out there.
They even had devs showing their games. Like I remember
Mm-hmm.
talking to one of the devs for one of the Nintendo Switch games.
Whitethorn Digital up in Erie, and that we talked to on the show, and our friends Mega Cat Games that we've talked to a few times on the show too, and we actually featured some of their games on some of our game streams over at IndieWrestling.us with the wrestlers. So go check out. It's it's our gaming holiday in the area, and you know what, Chilla? You know, if you can't make this one, like we need to find one of the other ones. They're not like that they're doing like Columbus or Cleveland, because they're I don't know if any of them are this big, but there are other conferences like this.
Oh,
So it might be worthwhile for us to do a little bit of a road trip.
we do a
Here.
road show.
Awesome Cast Road Show. There you go.
Taking it on the road.
All the games everywhere.
Make
We
it
could
happen.
follow the Taylor Swift tour
Yeah.
No. What, and hit the bar arcades or something?
and hit all the. Isn't there a place in? Is it Columbus? It's like the bar arcade.
We have one in Southside.
I haven't been there
I
either.
mean, there's one in Southside. I went to one in New York City. I found one in San Diego. Yeah, there's kind of a
Now there's a tour.
what
Yeah.
the barcade tour. I mean,
I'm okay with all
we
this.
can do that. I mean, that could be fun.
If you would like to sponsor the show
Yep.
and our trip around
Yes.
the U.S.,
The original
Yes.
one was in Brooklyn, New York, founded in 2004. At least according to the internet.
I don't think that's one we went to.
You know, Katie, I would like to hear about the story that you have in here.
I have stories.
Well, you have a comment.
Is
in
it
there more
about the
specifically.
dying robot or the pew pew?
the pew pew,
Is the robot dying because of the pew pew?
No, sadly, no.
Which one-
Scarehouse has a pew pew coming,
How about pew pew coming?
like a church pew.
No, like laser tag pew pew.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Rogue Laser Grounds. It's coming to Scarehouse. We haven't announced dates or anything for it yet, but we'll be announcing those soon. But yeah, later this
Is it
month.
like a battle royale?
It's like, yeah, there's gonna be a few different things you can do with it. Like these guns are so amazing. I can't wait to till we start announcing more things with it. But the guns are just like the functionality on these things is insane. Like what you can do with it.
Like
and-
time travel?
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wait, wait, did you
No.
watch Kin?
No.
You should watch Kin. It's a good movie.
Okay.
It's like they had one Halo prop and they made an entire movie around it that was about kids. It's good. It's good. But anyways, back to Rogue Laser
Pew-pews?
Grounds.
Yeah. So yeah, Rogue Laser Grounds. That's our new thing. We're doing things with laser tag in the off season here for a little bit. We got some time, so we're like, let's pew things, and we've all like want to pew things.
So there is a
Ooh.
Facebook page for it.
Ooh.
What is
Ooh,
that? Is that like private proprietary information?
yeah. Well, we just haven't released them yet.
Oh, are you giving Chilla a sneak preview over there?
Yeah, I'm showing them the guns.
Oh.
Aren't they
What,
pretty? Aren't they
Can
pretty?
you buy them?
the guns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they really expensive?
I don't know. I didn't end up having to purchase them.
She's-
They're like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, like
she's not in charge of the cost.
I want
list.
these for
Yep.
my house.
yeah. mhm. They go indoors, outdoors. Fancy pants, I know.
Mhm.
Is that the name of what's the name of the company?
This is the name of the company at the top there.
Look at you try to sneak out information. What the
There's
heck?
a leak.
I don't know. I don't.
Well,
I don't know
well,
what's quiet and what's not quiet right
now
now.
you can just use like Chilla's reactions in your like
Yeah,
hype video.
they're so pretty.
Oh, ooh, wow.
Huh.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's like total video game.
It's
I
pretty
would-
much close to time travel.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's like being in a video game. Like the options on these guns and just like what.
Oh, they have home use versions.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Ah, Christopher's birthday's coming, which
They're-
means my birthday's coming.
All kinds of audio. Like it's ridiculous. Just the things you can do. You have to watch the videos. It's just insane. It's
And this
so
is going to
cool.
be at the Scare House.
Correct. It's inside the scare house, so you get to
So-
shoot each other. You and your friends can shoot each other in the scare house now.
In the Scare House. That's awesome.
Which we will be all shooting each other as we learn the guns. So there'll be a bunch of pew-pewing happening over the next few
Looking
weeks.
forward. It's been too long since I've done some laser tag.
Yeah, so excited.
And it sounds like from what I'm hearing about this, like this is some exciting newer technology.
Yeah, this
it
isn't
seems
like
laser tag seems to be a little like they got this giant backpack and
no, it's like the headband and the
Yeah.
pew-pew.
yeah.
It's the gun. I like just even holding the guns. They're just so nice, and the
Mhm.
weight's really balanced, and they feel very solid, and they're just really cool. I mean, just like the technology on them is, eventually after we announce more, I'll have to talk more about the guns because they're just once we get to play with them more, I'm so excited.
Are we going to get a Rogue Laser Grounds weekly video
Yes, you're gonna
series
have
now?
to. I think so.
Can we get like a behind the scenes look at this?
Possibly. I might like you enough to do that. Chilla's like, I'm coming in. You like
Chilla,
her
work the
enough?
angles off air.
I'm just gonna stay overnight.
Yeah, just play.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to stay overnight in the scare house. I've heard some stories.
It's ghosty. Yeah,
It's a little ghosty.
there's a lot of ghosties in there.
Does this mean we can do an awesome chat?
Yeah, we could
Ooh.
totally
Why don't we do an
Ooh.
awesome battle?
Yes, that's our new show, Awesome Battle.
Oh, welcome to Awesome Battle. Oh, there's some
Okay.
possibilities there, actually.
I'm so excited.
Now you got me thinking about things.
Pew in
The
each other.
BRM. Oh, I'm liking
we
this.
strap
I'm
some-
getting. I'm.
Can we strap some wireless GoPros to some heads and do some live stream?
It's gonna be insane.
Get internet in there,
Like,
right?
did you see this? A pocket for your smartphone because you
I
can
saw.
integrate.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. your
Wait, what?
points. There's a pocket in the guns for your smartphone. essentially.
You gotta show me something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is. Yeah, it's so cool.
Anyways, but there's a robot too.
Yeah,
Oh
the-
no, not this one.
Jibo or whatever.
Jibo.
Jibo dies.
Jibo died,
Well,
but not like the one that got beat up in Philadelphia.
No, this is well,
the hitchhiker robot that got killed.
no.
I think that got caught. That got brought up on like John Oliver or something this week. But anyways, sorry.
Yeah, if you want to be depressed, just click on this
Oh,
article and
jeez.
listen to Jibo talk about. I want to say I really
Oh,
enjoyed
no.
our time together.
Oh,
Thank you very
no.
much for having me around.
Oh no.
Yeah, so Jibo's servers are all and out. I mean, Jibo's been around for 4 years. It was crowdfunded like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
It's a social robot.
It's one of those things that was like really cool, but really it's Echo.
Yeah. hmm
kind of ate its lunch a little bit,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It did most of the things, and it didn't have a creepy eye looking over you when it did it. So
Yeah.
maybe it just kind of it was mistimed.
Yeah.
If this happened like a couple years before, maybe it could have been a little more to it. So
This is the worst line of the whole article is Jibo says, maybe someday when robots are way more advanced than today and everyone has them in their homes, you can tell yours that I said hello. Like,
what?
why would you do that?
This is like when whenever one of the drones, or not the drones, one of the rovers, like is running out of battery or something.
Oh, the Mars rover.
Yeah, on the Mars rovers.
It's
like,
going dark. Or
they've done it like there will be some kind of quote because there's like whoever's like live tweeting the rover, right? And it was like, my time has been short, but I have seen so much of this alien it's like a dissertation on its way out. I don't know. They have a little too much fun with these. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else we want to touch on before we get out of here. Good news. Now, I kind of got an ear to listen to get a heads up on some stuff. We had Representative Mike Doyle that represents our area on Pittsburgh Current about a month ago, I think. And I was excited to learn that they're actually they were starting a what do you call it? When they get a group of people in the Senate and stuff together.
Filibuster?
No, not that. They're putting out a group. They're actually looking at. They're actually announcing something. There was a media advisor that went out this Wednesday. They're going to. I'm just going to go to the quotes here. They're going to unveil a net neutrality legislation that will keep the internet open and free. Legislation will reverse the disaster. This is their words. Disastrous repeal by the FCC in 2017. Jumping over very, very political things here of the critical net neutrality process protections. So basically, they are looking to reverse the net neutrality decisions, and according to this, an overwhelming 86% of Americans oppose the FCC neutrality appeal, including 82% of Republicans on here. So that's it looks like it's a pretty good. They're looking to fight for internet, free internet. So good to see that's happening. Something to keep an eye on in the news, depending on what happens. Net neutrality kind of did hit mainstream news a bit when the FCC came down on it this time around, right? So it'll be curious to see how that goes. Keep an eye out there. Apex Legends hit the 50 million player mark, and after 1 month, its user base is already a quarter the size of Fortnite.
What was the growth rate of Fortnite?
I think it was a lot faster than that.
You think Fortnite was faster than...
I think that was definitely faster.
I think so too. Okay.
But also, Apex Legend has forced me to go play Fortnite more.
You were tired of dying?
Yeah, I was tired of being the weak link. At least, like, when I die quick, it's my own fault. So I mean, that's kind of pushed me that way. But I liked it. I really do like it. But let's see if there's anything else here I want to touch on real quick. Thunderbolt 4, USB 4.
This is going to be so confusing.
It's a new standard. We're not going to see it for real for like 3 or 4 years.
But here's the problem: is it's going to. I bet you we do see it quicker than you think. But it's the same. It looks just like USB-C.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be confusing. It's like.
You know where I'm at? You know where I'm at right now?
Wireless.
I am dedicated.
No more wires.
I am pretty. I feel like my next MacBook is going to be an old MacBook at this point.
Like when you get like a refurb.
I'm going to get a refurb that doesn't have USB-C in it yet because I don't want to get adapters for everything.
Yeah.
Really, at this point. Katie, is yours the USB-C?
I don't think so.
Or yours is like right before it, isn't it?
She's MagSafe.
Mm-hmm.
She's
still
MagSafe.
I mean, that's like the best. Give me an SD card, guys. Give me a MagSafe.
So here's the thing. I understand where you're coming from, but like the dongle I have from my iPad, someone came into work and was trying to show something on a screen, and they had a newer Microsoft Surface Book, and all they had was a USB-C. And they're like, "Do you have the dongle?" I'm like, "No, but I have a hub." And like my hub is pocket size. It's tiny. It has HDMI, USB, headphone jack. I mean, it has every on this.
Hey, don't flash gang signs while you're doing that.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to flash gang signs. But it's this small little compact USB-C hub that takes one port. I don't know. And the other thing is like the more and more I look around.
So here's my deal.
Like my Android device is already USB-C. My GoPro's USB-C. Like everything's already USB-C.
Okay. I have a lot of cameras. And I have a lot of Blackmagic equipment. That is the old Thunderbolt, the old USB. So,
but I feel like so if you want to keep that up, you're going to have to stick with Mac and you're going to have to stick with a refurb.
I don't need the power necessarily. I just need something that, if I'm going to spend $500 a screen, I know I'll get a whole new laptop. That's at least a little bit newer and a little bit faster. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then maybe I won't drop $2,000 to $3,000 on a new MacBook because holy crap, that's ridiculous.
Do they sell the Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3 USB-C? Do they even sell an adapter?
I haven't seen it.
I don't think
I haven't
they do.
Seen it. And that's a problem according to this article. So we didn't really get into this. They're working on the standard. It's going to be USB 4. It's going to support Thunderbolt and double the speed of this USB 3.2. I think they say 40 help me here, gigabits will be the standard. And now it's like, what, 10, 15? So big for video, big for big files. Also with Thunderbolt 3, apparently there was only somewhere in the 400s of devices that have been certified and released. So it's been a slow go. So
for Thunderbolt 3, there's not that. I mean, really, what are you looking at from a Thunderbolt 3 perspective?
I would love if I want to get a new laptop and I'm going to have to rededicate the hardware. Here's my other problem. The hardware that I need to buy or need to use, there is no USB 3 Thunderbolt 3 version. Or I'm sorry, USB-C Thunderbolt 3 version of it. We're getting real deep into the tech side of here. Like, there is no option. So I'm going to have to get adapters.
Mhm.
I had to do this for a client that hook them up with a newer iMac a year ago, and it's an extra headache in my production workflow. It's already difficult because of some of the setups that we do.
I feel like if they're not going to, like, if technology doesn't go to this and just adapt, I feel like anything that's not like hardcore AV related is just going to go wireless. Like the whole concept of memory cards, between my phone, obviously I can back up to Google Photo or I can do whatever. Even my newer cameras, they're all Wi-Fi.
I will counter that with people with red cameras.
And that's,
Yes.
But like I said, the high-end AV market,
Yes.
and you're always going to be chasing the white rabbit in that realm.
Absolutely. Well, anyways, also chasing the design white rabbit is our good friend at Alex Kahrs Media. If you're putting together, you like that? If you're putting together the puzzle of design and whatnot, go check out our friend over at Alex Kahrs Media. Everything from branding to print to digital and everything in between. He's done some great stuff with us with websites, t-shirts for pro wrestlers featured on What a Maneuver and ProWrestlingTees.com. So much great stuff over there. Alexander Kahrs, Kahrs, Alex Kahrs Media. Looking to go hang out with Alex here in the beginning of April when I head out to California. So go check him out. Actually, working with them on some new projects here in the Pittsburgh area too. So check them out, Alex Kahrs Media. And thanks for supporting the Awesome Cast. All right, guys. Anything? Well, of course, we already talked about the laser tag. So go follow. What is that Facebook page again?
Rogue Laser Grounds.
Rogue Laser Grounds.
Pew pew.
Pew, pew.
There's no pew pew in the name. There should be though.
There might be some videos soon.
Yes. Videos, photos. There's gonna be things.
There's going to be things as you get closer to it. Do we have a window? Was
Late
that
March.
announced? Late March.
Yeah.
This is going to be popping up.
Mhm.
So make
And
your
it's gonna only be for a
plans.
little bit because haunted house stuff.
Haunted house stuff. Got to make a haunted house somewhere along
I
there.
know.
Just a little bit of a laser tag break and then back to haunted housing, right?
Exactly. We just want to shoot each other. It's only an excuse for us to shoot each other with lasers.
I tell you, it's too much fun to shoot each other with lasers, and then it's like, hey guys, we're just gonna do a Christmas haunted house this year.
Yeah, we're having too much fun shooting each other.
Whoops. Or we just hit a super interactive haunted house. You
Yeah,
never
yeah.
know. Kate Utter's on the Twitter. Anything else you want to plug? Anything else going on out there?
No, I'm boring.
You're boring.
I just have lasers.
John Chilla, I think his website is back up.
It is back up.
Good.
It's no longer suspended.
Did we talk about it on Gold? I can't remember.
We did talk about it on
We did.
Gold.
Okay, Gold.
Till
Find out.
somebody interrupted our conversation about a power cord.
Mm-hmm. So you can find out what happened to chillatech.net over on AwesomeCast Gold. And please check out everything going on at the AwesomeCast and the Sorgatron Media Network as well. Bardic, I was listening to Bardic Mystery Tour on the way back from Dayton on Friday, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. A new one over here on the Sorgatron Media Network. And, of course, some great stuff from Pittsburgh Current Podcast, Patrick Jordan of Bare Bones Productions, that they run a lot of shows out down there in Braddock. And we've actually had him on Indie Mayhem show around the Chad Deity production that they did in a wrestling ring. I think there's another great production talking this week. A little bit of a podcast crossover, Fishing Without Bait, with Natalie from the broadcast just releasing today and also be featured next week. And we will be having a pretty cool Indie Mayhem show this week with somebody that's been with Impact Wrestling, doing some cool things on the TV. And right before a big show at the Rex Theater that happened this past week, that's got a little bit of buzz with the Wrestle Rex. So check out everything at sorgatronmedia.com and everything coming up over there. Next week, Scott McTaggart. And I was going to say Scott McTaggart and his big head are coming here. If you see the event photo, I hope they can bring it. I don't know does he still have his big head, and can he bring it on the show is the question I need to email him. Apparently, he's with the Pitchworks podcast. He got some cool projects coming up. He's going to talk to us about. So go check out. Join us next week for that, and we're working on some guests here in the near future. Kraus will be back sometime this month.
You got a new monitor.
He got a new monitor. He'll be back to tell us about his new monitor as well. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.